So today's class will be given by His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhuji on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Ramgiridhari Prabhu, are you present on the call?
Yes, Madhya. Hare Krishna.
Yes, so today's welcome Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances, all wish Guru Maharaj Prabhupada and all the devotees. And Prabhuji, today's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, in chapter 4, chapter 26. I'm forgetting. Chapter 24 in verse number 80 onwards. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable association and enlightening us on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Please accept the call now. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Today we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, text number 80. Tina sadhane Bhagavan, Tina swarupe bhashe, Brahma Paramatma Bhagavata, Vividha Prakashe. Translation: the absolute truth is the same, but according to the process by which one understands him, he appears in three forms as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text number 81. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth say that it is non-dual knowledge and is called impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead. Brahmatma Shabde Yadi Krishnera Kahaya Rudi Vritye Nirvishesha Antaryami Kaya. Although the words Brahma and Atma indicate Krishna, their direct meaning refers only to the impersonal Brahman and the super soul respectively. Text number 80 to 83 is what we are going to discuss. So 83 is the last words of today's discussion. Jnana marge nirvishesha brahma prakashe yoga marge antaryami swarupe te bhashe. If one follows the path of philosophical speculation, absolute truth manifests himself as impersonal Brahman. And if one follows the path of mystic yoga, he manifests himself as the super soul. So, we are going to discuss some text number 80 to 83 today. So we will chant invocation prayer before we get into the discussion. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Aschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are in the middle of discussing the Atma Ramasya Munayaha verse, and Mahaprabhu is analyzing this verse from a very detailed and philosophical dissection is happening. And if you recollect the context of this shloka, Atma Ramasya Munayaha, is also meant for elevating an impersonalist to make him a personalist. So as it has already been established, a person who has got just Brahman realization need to be given some insights so that he can understand Krishna's personal aspect. And Mahaprabhu, as he was explaining the shloka throughout, he is trying to take care by as much as possible bringing in those set of informations by which Lord's personal aspect is revealed. So from a philosophical viewpoint, this shloka or the set of verses that we discussed today is something that we would have heard in some of our early discussions. Maybe when we were doing our Bhakti Shastri course, or we were doing Bhagavad Gita course, or we were doing self-discovery course. Because these are all the courses, these are all the conversations that we would have otherwise heard in any of our earlier discussions. And from there to this current context, how do we understand, perceive? Because students of Chaitanya Charitamrita need to go deeper in understanding the basics of the Siddhanta. Because the target audience is us, while Sanatana Goswami is currently being the student in front of Mahaprabhu. This science of Krishna consciousness is imparted to each and every one of us. Today we are going to discuss these 4 verses from another perspective, which will help us to understand the 3 aspects of the Supreme Lord: Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. In our journey of Krishna consciousness, this word understanding Krishna had been dealt in different perspectives. But all elevated personalities have concluded that it is impossible to understand Krishna. It is only possible to conclude that Krishna is beyond our material and intellectual understanding. So in the 4 verses that we just read today, Mahaprabhu is clarifying even the impersonalists, because they are the one who, somewhere or the other, twist the context and come back and let everyone know that the physical, personal aspect of the Supreme Lord is subservient to the impersonal aspect of the Lord. The argument here is about the superiority aspect of the Supreme Lord. So that defines somebody, a mystic yogi, that defines somebody as a person who is doing philosophical speculation. Jnana and mystic yoga, in the sense that those who are doing Jnana Marge, which is those who are doing philosophical speculation, or those who are doing Yoga Marge. So both of them, they are perceiving slightly differently. We are going to have some sets of reflections, and these reflections will help us draw some perspective. First and foremost, in this scenario, is to understand Krishna, to come to the context of Krishna consciousness, to know different aspects of the Supreme Lord. One single phenomena that contributes is desire, ichha. Because spirituality does not exist when there is a absence of desire. What is the desire that we are talking about? Desire to know the truth. Desire to surrender to the truth. Desire to approach the truth. Desire to reach the truth. So the science of Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Sapyate is about the truth, absolute truth, and depends upon different desire levels. This marge, jnana marge, yoga marge, karma marge, bhakti marge. These are all different paths a person takes, different channel a person adopts for him to know spirituality. So the first reflection is about the concept of desire in connection with concept of knowing the truth. It may be apparently not clear that how come just by knowing this truth we will go back to God. Because whenever we are as devotees, I've seen many devotees like this, whenever we do some sort of a philosophical discussion around some concept, we find it boring or we find it irrelevant. I have understood Krishna as Bhagavan. Now I will start directly relating to Bhagavan's Lila. And further directly related to knowing what Bhagavan will give to me. But Mahaprabhu has repeatedly told in the last few chapters, both in Rupa Siksha and Sanatana Siksha, that unless you know me in truth, in totality, in complete transcendence, you will be scratching the surface only and not diving deep into the actual spirituality. So desire and the truth have got a very good connection. That's my first reflection. So desire plane depends upon what desire that we possess. We are in different spectrums of truth. If you draw a spectrum of illusion to reality, one side of the spectrum is illusion, another side of the spectrum is absolute reality. It depends upon our desires. We are in the different stages of this spectrum. If my desire is centered around self-gratification, if my desire is centered around self-agenda, if my desire is centered around I, me, mine, then that desire directs us to remain in the platform of materialism. So Krishna, here through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is trying to elevate an impersonalist to the level of devotee, but I am just trying to extrapolate to say that how we need to consider, because we are students of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, how do we elevate from materialistic, degraded consciousness to the level of self-realized soul? So by adjusting the desire plane, we kind of position ourselves in different places in the spectrum. It is like I take a picture in my digital camera, so I adjust my lens in such a manner that the aperture is very nicely focused to the object that I am desiring. Of late, these cameras have come with a very nice technology where I can blur everything up and focus on the object that I would like to focus. And Krishna consciousness in this spectrum of illusion to reality is something like that. Depends upon whether you are in Karma Marga, Jnana Marga, Yoga Marga, Bhakti Marga, Shuddha Bhakti. Depends upon that. Our desires and our understanding of truth are suddenly changed. If I am in the platform of completely self-centered nature, then all I know is only illusion, there is no truth. If you know the mapping. So if I am in the platform of self-gratification, what do I know? I know only false. I am only an illusion. And if I am in the absolute state of Krishna consciousness and Shuddha Bhakti, then all I know is Krishna. And rest everybody is in between. So in our spirituality, for us to know the truth, we need to know what desire. And as Mahaprabhu explained, and Prabhupada has given purport to this verse, Vadatitat Tattvavidal Tattvam Yajnanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Satyate. In Bhagavatam, first canto, second canto, plenty of places Prabhupada has used this word to explain different aspects of the Supreme Lord. When explaining about different aspects of the Supreme Lord, the Prabhupada has mentioned how Brahman is a partial understanding of Krishna, and how Paramatma is one other better understanding of Krishna, how Bhagavan is the complete understanding of Krishna, which means Brahman understanding is partial truth, Paramatma understanding is somewhat better truth, and Bhagavan understanding is an absolute truth. So this level of truth for us to be revealed is directly proportionate. As Mahaprabhu is mentioning, those who are Jnanamargi, process of philosophical speculation, in the text number 83, he says, absolute truth manifests to himself as impersonal Brahman. Those who are following the process of mystic yoga, for them super soul manifests. Then for whom Krishna will manifest? That's what he's going to speak in verse number 84. So text number 84 onwards, Mahaprabhu is going to speak to whom Krishna will reveal himself. In our last session when I spoke on this concept, we spoke about Hari aspect of Krishna, we spoke about the other aspects of Krishna, other aspects of the sloka. So hence, how do we manage the desire? Now, the desire has got further interesting aspects to this. We have discussed in one of the earlier classes. If a three-dimensional object, hear me out, this is little technical. If a three-dimensional object, when it is projected on a two-dimensional plane, I'll explain what that actually means. If I hold an object in my hand, if I'm holding my object in my hand, if I raise my hand, the object has got height, width, as well as depth, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. But now, and other attributes with respect to color, shape and so many things. Now when I project this object on a two-dimensional plane, where there is only x and y axis, some attributes of this object get lost. And after it is projected, if we hide or does not reveal the object used for projection, the object that is projected, if you hide that object and show it to any person, third person who was not witnessing this activity, and ask them to infer, looking at the two-dimensional plane, to say what object we would have projected in that, it will be very difficult for him to project unless otherwise he is well-versed and conversant. Similarly, in a spiritual ideology and spiritual knowledge, there's an absolute sign when the knowledge from the spiritual world, which is beyond the materialistic conception, when they are brought from the spiritual platform to the material platform, so from a different dimension, they are bringing to the dimension of materialistic plane, some attributes are gone. And nobody knows where this whole concept has come from, but everybody is having this object. So like a blind man, everybody is giving different explanations to spirituality. The reason why there are so many spiritual gurus and so many so-called spiritual leaders have popped out, because everybody in this world is trying to figure out the truth without knowing the source of this knowledge. And they give their own interpretation, they give their own purpose, and they have their own sangha, their own group, their own followers, and all go to the royal ride towards hellish. They are giving their own speculation. So Mahaprabhu, the reason he is trying to explain about the three aspects of Bhagavan is to go back and think what is the source of all this truth. Because Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, is revealing the source. To understand this in a much more colloquial, easy manner, if you take any object and keep it in front of a light or sunlight and look at the shadow and take a picture of the shadow and throw away the object and show the shadow to different people. Different people will perceive it differently. But to really know what an object was, somebody need to reveal what the source was. Which Mahaprabhu is trying to do. So Brahman realization people who have little amount of desire, and that desire is for philosophical speculation, Krishna reveals, or the absolute truth is revealed only partially. And those who have desire for mystic yoga, the spiritual knowledge or absolute truth is revealing furthermore partially only. And those who are ready for absolute surrender. Verse number 84, I think verse number 80, 81, 83, 84. Verse number 85 onwards. Mahaprabhu is going to explain who is going to enjoy the personal aspect of Bhagavan. So to summarize this first reflection, we need to fine-tune our desire from the platform of materialistic enjoyment and self-centeredness, the platform of Krishna consciousness. This Krishna consciousness platform is a platform of knowing Bhagavan and serving Bhagavan and eventually reaching about the Supreme Lord. And many a times, we as devotees does not fall under one single band. We can neither be classified as Brahman realized people, nor be classified as Paramatma realized people, nor be classified as Bhagavan realized people, because they are confused people. The reason we are confused is, we are self-centered, but interested in getting the self-centered fulfilled by spirituality. And while that getting fulfilled by spirituality, we are not interested in reciprocating to that spirituality. So we are all over the place. Self-centered for going to God, to fulfilling that self-centered nature, we are trying to be a spiritualist but not fully spiritualist. And when the desires are fulfilled, we don't acknowledge and we just go back to enjoy this material world and does not reciprocate to the source of all this benefits. See, in totality, we are on a confused platform. So Prabhupada and this Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta has helped us pave the way to find the desire. So please even know what to even desire. That is why it is said, desire is considered as the first step in the path of self-realization. Desire could be a prerequisite or, pre-stage of Shraddha. So for desire, you don't need any qualification. Just to desire, you don't need any qualification. You can be whoever you are. Lowest amongst mankind, Naratama. You could be whoever you are. But desire is inevitable. And we all desire. So hence, watch out for your desire, for understanding, for Krishna to reveal what he has to reveal. So that is my first reflection. So Krishna will reveal only that much proportionate to our desire. So hence, Srila Prabhupada, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and so many other great saints have clarified that for us to, go back home, back to Godhead, we need to have burning desires. And nobody can stop, and no other prerequisites, no other criteria can stop our desiring. So if at all you want to progress in Krishna consciousness, if you want to eventually reach the platform of understanding the absolute truth and serving and loving and reaching to that level, let us better learn to desire. And this desire is reflected in many, many ways. That's our second reflection. How are these desires reflected? How do I know I am desiring, which way I am desiring? Because it's kind of confusing. Because we desire so many things. Especially after coming to Krishna consciousness, we are so overconfident, because we know Siddhanta, that we take Krishna for granted, we take Vaishnavas for granted, we take holy name for granted, and we keep on desiring everything. I want to get materialistic life, and I want to also enjoy Krishna consciousness aspect also. There is a very, interesting, funny story. Of Tenali Ram. Tenali Ram, this is a hypothetical or real, happened, not happened, I do not know, but it is interesting perspective. So this Tenali Ram, he was poor, very poor at one stage. He had a blind mother. So he was very desperately praying to Krishna. He was trying to, ask for some solution to that problem. So one day Lord appeared in front of him and said that, what do you want? So he started to list down many things. I want money, I want good health, I want prosperity, I want my mother eyesight to be restored, I want happy family. He kept on, listing his things. The Lord said, I will not sanction all these things. I will give you only one boon. You ask, that's all I can do to you. So Tenali Ram thought for a while. And he said, my dear Lord, can you please give me this benediction where I need to be eating in a silver plate on the 5th floor of my own house, which I want my mother to be seen. Technically speaking, he asked for a 5-story building. He asked for prosperity to have enough to eat a silver plate. And he asked for his mother's eyesight to be brought back. So, there is no reasoning behind this. This is just a humorous, story that we tell to the kids to make fun. of how we start desiring. And even though it is humor, somewhere in the heart of heart, it is truth for some of us where we desire sense gratification as well as we desire wants Krishna to give us all the necessary portion of devotion, but it's not possible because they don't coexist. Darkness and light cannot coexist. So hence, we need to know really where our desire stands. So different forms of desires are. How your desires reflecting if you want to analyze. You watch out your prayer. So prayer is one form of our desire. Shraddha is one form of our desire. Seva is one form of our desire. Sangha is one form of our desire. Sadachar is one form of our desire. And all these things will tell us where is our desire existing. So, Mahaprabhu, when he is explaining about this Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, who can understand Bhagavan? One whose prayer, one whose Shraddha, one whose Seva, one whose Sangha, one whose Sadachar is in such a manner that you can understand Bhagavan. But the intricate phenomena here is, it is not that we can understand Krishna as Paramatma, Brahman or Bhagavan. It is the Lord who reveals that much portion only. So the desire level depends upon our prayer, depends upon our Shraddha, depends upon our Sangha, Seva, Sadachar. The Supreme Lord reveals. So it is not our entitlement just because I desire. I should have the Lord's darshan. I should have understanding of Brahman. No. In Letter of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purports referring to Rupa Goswami. He says that just because we had performed devotional service and devotional activity does not as an entitlement for Krishna to reveal us. It is Krishna's prerogative. It is absolutely on Krishna's personal choice if he wants to reveal or does not want to reveal. Even after you do everything possible under one roof. And Krishna's Yoga Maya, she is programmed in such a manner that is highly uncomprehendable. I give a simple example. If we serve Krishna, all the associates, all the Lakshmis of Krishna are eager to serve us. So the Supreme Lord's internal potency is programmed in such a manner, as soon as you serve the Supreme Lord, Krishna's various energies are ready to serve you as a matter of showing their indebtedness, because you served my master, you served the Supreme, Lord, so we are so indebted, we are ready to serve you. But there is one more interesting aspect is, but if you learn to serve a Vaishnava, then Krishna is ready to serve you. This is the power of the desire flame. So Krishna's Yogamaya ready to arrange all the ecosystem, environment, necessary things in such a manner to serve you because you served Krishna. Sudama Vipra, as soon as Krishna ate one mukti chivda, why? The queen was stopping Krishna to eat further because she said that for what you ate just now, already we have to serve him a lot. Eat further, then we may have to go and be with them forever to take care of the indebtedness. Because somebody pleased you, our duty is to serve that person who pleased you. And in the same quotient, Krishna also says, those who are serving my devotees, I serve them. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, those who are claiming to be my devotee is not necessarily my devotee. Those who are claiming to be a devotee of my devotee is my devotee. So the second reflection is about how our desires are going to be analyzed, revealed, expressed, and accordingly Krishna reveals himself. Yeyata mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamham. So the truth here is, it is not that we are knowing the truth. It is that the truth is being revealed proportionate to what we have deserved. Third aspect, a third reflection. The third reflection is about knowing about it and acting on it. Many a times what we know is not what we act upon. There was a very interesting forward that somebody had sent me the other day. Sometimes these forwards do help in, reflecting on certain points. Maybe it's a hypothetical, but then they were trying to explain that many things that we believe in, we may not be landing up and doing it because our beliefs should only be theoretical. For performing the action, we need to have the kind of surrender and kind of trust. Because Krishna says, Arjuna, please follow my instructions and take part of the fight. The biggest advantage of Arjuna over Duryodhana was, whilst Arjuna took a decision or kind of made up his mind not to fight, he consulted Krishna because he never wanted to make stupid mistake of committing something that he is not supposed to commit. He was conscious enough that maybe I'm intelligent, but maybe I'm a fool also. So as soon as he developed the doubts, as soon as he had this perplexity, he took the right decision of surrendering to Krishna and took his direction. And Krishna eventually took him out of the perplexity and gave the clarity. The point that I'm trying to say is, as a part of our third reflection, so it is not just the belief or the theory that we know, it is about the truth and the trust and the shraddha, or the amount of surrender that we put to the words of the Supreme Lord for us to earn Krishna's attention. This third reflection has a very interesting, components to it, wherein we may be eager to go and serve Krishna. We may have various quotients, but then if we are not resonating in the same frequency as the Supreme Lord, we will still continue to remain as Kanishta, or Krishna will not reveal the total aspect of himself. I'll give an example of a soldier in the army. A soldier in the army needs to be fit. A soldier in the army needs to be disciplined. A soldier in the army needs to follow different routine, different regime. Suppose a soldier is doing all of those things, very fit and fine, he's eating only those selected foods, he is very much organized, very disciplined, but his focus is not protecting the country, his focus is to make money and have a survival established. So, all his endeavors, all his parishram for maintaining his such a healthy, wealthy things will be useless because his agenda is not to fight for the country. Similarly, we as devotees, knowing Krishna, knowing Siddhanta, studying Bhagavatam, hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita, but desiring for personal benefits and not desiring for spiritual benefits, not desiring for surrendering for the pleasure of our spiritual master. Then we are like soldiers, fit and fine, but desiring for self-existence. The reason this aspect is being discussed is, Mahaprabhu, the further this chapter is going to explain about Mrigari's pastime. So we need to know that where Mahaprabhu is taking us towards, he is definitely elevating our consciousness. Don't be just beating around the bush and try to remain in this material world. I'm giving you an exit path. That exit path is in our hands, provided we desire correctly. Based on our desires, we regulate ourselves correctly in such a manner, Krishna reveals himself to us. If Krishna does not reveal himself to us, how much ever we try, we can't see Krishna. So hence, the third reflection is explaining about the righteousness aspect of our desire lies in us, not with anybody else. Krishna would not take responsibility for this. It is absolutely upon us. And it is not the beginning. Throughout our journey of Krishna consciousness, we need to be extremely careful in making sure that my desire is righteous enough for fulfilling the mission, which is Param Jayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Not even one day I should think that one day let me enjoy myself. It is like a soldier in the army, whilst maintaining his body, whilst maintaining his routine, whilst maintaining his everything, he should constantly be thinking, how can I save the country? At the cost of even sacrificing my life. But what is the truth behind that? If it so happens that even if his life is to be compromised or sacrificed, the government, the country is going to take care of all his needs and his dependent needs. In our case, if we give our life for the Sankirtan movement, for the pleasure of our spiritual masters, for the Sankirtan establishment of Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, then Both our personal life, spiritual life, devotional life, everything is taken care by the Supreme Lord, and we don't have anything to repent. But on the contrary, if we just take care of external things, of knowing things, and not acting on them, or acting on them in a partial manner, we have a bigger problem to face. So the third reflection is all about the righteousness aspect of a desire that we need to fine-tune so that Krishna reveals the real truth of himself. Otherwise, you only get to realize a partial aspect of the Supreme Lord. A bonus reflection on this particular point is, the moment we made up our mind that Krishna, I love you, I desire for you, I want to come to you, I want to surrender unto you. Come what may in my life, you are my only one, and I am desiring to somehow come to you. Then what will Krishna do? Krishna will go and pick out each and everything in our life by which we will not be able to go closer to Krishna, and he will remove them. If Krishna desires attachment to money is what's stopping us to going closer to Krishna, he will remove money from our life. If our health, beauty, intelligence, knowledge, followers, fame, position, whatever in our lives that are stopping us from coming closer to Krishna, he will remove that. That is why the way Krishna will reveal his truth, the Brahman aspect or Paramatma aspect or Bhagavan aspect, the way he will reveal that is not the way we would have expected, not necessarily the way we would have expected. He can reveal himself different ways. Krishna may come in our lives as challenges. Krishna may come in our lives as pleasure. Krishna may come in our lives as success. Krishna may come in our lives as failures. Krishna may come in our lives as disaster. But then, we are never at loss. Because in this process, there is no loss or diminution. This is trial and success. There is nothing called as trial and error in Krishna consciousness. So you just try, desire, you succeed. But the success is defined not in the way the materialistic world defines. Here the success is Krishna's attention upon us. The example is in the classroom, a teacher is conducting a session. As she is conducting the session, she is pointing out to a person and say, hey, what is the answer for this? He does not know the answer, so she scolds. She points out to another person, hey, what is the answer for this? He answers, she appreciates. So out of 30 members in the classroom, 2 or 3 people or 4 people she points out and asks questions. The remaining 25, 26 people are just part of their thinking that thank God I have not been questioned today. But the message here is, when Krishna loves us and profusely gives us, it is Krishna's attention upon us. If Krishna exposes us and puts us into some problem and challenge, it is again Krishna's attention upon us. If we are neither part of neither happiness nor challenge, we are part of the masses, where we are just receiving Krishna's administrative benefits, like roti, kapda, makan, whatever Krishna is providing to everybody, every living entity as a part of his routine, management, administration, we are getting it. The special attention is given to those who have given their desires, their heart towards Krishna. The amount of desire that we have given to Krishna, that much we have got back from Krishna. Now somebody may ask, how do I know this is Krishna or somebody else? And for that, we need to understand the science of Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna communicates to us in multiple ways. Krishna communicates to us as Chaitya Guru sitting inside the heart and giving us directions. And how Chaitya Guru gives us directions? Upadrishta Anumanta Cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha. So Krishna tells in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, how does he help? Prabhupada writes in the purport in the shloka. Many times Tadastha, these living entities, may ignore, may does not respond, may think that Supreme Lord, how can you help me? And you may take the Lord for granted. And I repeatedly help because I am his eternal companion and friend, living with him forever in whichever body he takes. So one of the ways he helps, Prabhupada writes, if you want to associate and get directions, read my books. I live in my books and give you directions. So whenever we have any challenges or any problems, if you read Srila Prabhupada's books, you will know Srila Prabhupada talks to us. Second way by which Krishna speaks to us is through spiritual master and bona fide Vaishnavas. Sometimes Krishna speaks to us through some challenges and some third person also. In Bilva Mangala Thakura's case, the prostitute who questioned Bilva Mangala Thakur. When Bilva Mangala Thakur, whatever he was desiring towards the prostitute, to whom he goes every day. When he went, finally she asked, on such a stormy night, when everywhere there is no electricity, no light, you swam across, sitting on the dead body, and finally reached out to me. Had you taken all this pain in remembering and glorifying Krishna, don't you think Krishna or the Lord would have appeared in front of you? That's the last day that he visited the prostitute and he became a saint. So that prostitute happened to be Krishna's arrangement. Her statement, Krishna's arrangement. So we do not know. Hence, watch out for Krishna, because it's very important when we desire, when we express our desire through prayers, seva, sangha, shraddha, sadhana, sadachar, and when we are also righteous enough in making sure that the goal of this prayer, goal of this desire is not self-centered, it is for glorifying and fulfilling the mission of our spiritual master, and Krishna will rakshishyati visva. So Krishna will definitely reciprocate, and when Krishna reciprocates, better we know to recognize the Supreme Lord. So the context that we are in currently discuss about Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and when Mahaprabhu explained about Jnana Marge, Yoga Marge, these are all our choice and Krishna's revelations. So for Krishna to reveal himself in totality, in Krishna to give himself to us, for Krishna to, hand over himself to us, let's learn the secret mantra of serving, surrendering, associating with his dear ones. So to summarize our conversation today, so there's three aspects of Bhagavan: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, that Mahaprabhu is explaining to Sanatana Goswami. We discussed from verse number 80 all the way till 83. Where we got into an analysis of how the truth, absolute truth, different aspects of the Absolute Truth have linkage with different levels of desires. And as a part of our understanding the Supreme Lord and surrendering to the Supreme Lord, knowing the Absolute Truth in totality, and serving and acting on that happens to be a primary agenda. In the process, we had 3 sets of reflections. One is how different desires position us in the different spectrum of realities of life, where illusion happens to be one end of the spectrum, and reality, absolute truth happens to be another side of the spectrum. Depends upon how much ever we are having genuine absolute desires, that much ever we operate in the spectrum. And it is that in the process of developing the desires, one important aspect that we discussed was to know that Krishna is revealed based on your desires, and Krishna reveals Eyatam mam prapadyante tam sadeva bhajamyaham. It is never that Krishna hides himself. And we discussed also about different forms of which our desires are expressed. So watch out your prayer and see if you have genuine desire. Watch out your Shraddha and see how much Shraddha you have. That tells us our desire. Seva, Sangha, Sadachar, there are all different ways by which one's desires are justified, revealed, expressed, proportionate to which we get to know the truth. And the last aspect of it we discussed about was how in the process of Krishna consciousness, we need to be focused towards the core principle of pleasing, glorifying, and working towards the mission of our spiritual master, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Not just be satisfied that I know this truth, not just be satisfied that I am aware about this and not acting on it. So, being righteous in our desires, in which ultimate goal is to please the Lord, not just being self-centered. So, it's very, very important. As an additional point on that reflection we discussed, that Krishna, the moment we express such a desire, immediately reciprocates, responds back. And his reciprocation need not necessarily be the way we would expect. He would reciprocate in a manner by which we come to him. And hence, please watch out where you should invest your desires so that Krishna can reveal himself. Shri Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for Vishesha Mahambara Visanti. It's very nice. Very nice you explain everything. So you have to put, I guess I have to put in practice. And please, I don't have a question right now, but if anybody has any question, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone else has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Koti Koti Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, as it's a very excellent class. It's help in our day-to-day life. Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. I have one question, Prabhu. Prabhuji, what does Brahmavadi mean? That's one question, Prabhu. And one more question is, what happens to the super soul if a devotee is going to Vrindavan, Goloka, Prabhuji, going to back home? Huh? That's one, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
So Brahman Vadi means those who are Brahman realized, and Brahman realized means understanding that the ultimate truth is impersonal aspect of God, and it is explained that those who believe that the Supreme Lord is an effulgent only, and that is his ultimatum, that is his ultimate position, even though they are partially understood the Supreme Lord, they have understood some aspect of the Supreme Lord, so they are classified as Brahman realized people. And there are different positive aspects of Brahman realized people. Sat, Chit, Ananda are the three aspects of the Supreme Lord. Sat is related to Brahman. Sat means eternity. Chit means knowledge. So when you understand Paramatma, so you understand the Supreme Lord's Sat feature as well as Chit feature. And when somebody understands the Supreme Lord's nature as Bhagavan, then they understand Sat, Chit, Ananda, eternity, knowledge and happiness, eternal happiness, and also come to realization Bhagavan is a person. He is not a vastu or not something or feeling or some light. So Brahman realized people are not able to understand beyond the impersonal aspect of the Lord, again because they are having limited desires and Krishna reveals themselves limitedly. As mentioned in verse number 83 of this particular chapter, Madhya Lila 24.83, those who are Jnana Marge, those who are interested in philosophical speculation, they are only understanding the Lord as light. Because they go on speculating different aspects of them, and they are not able to raise their understanding beyond that. And the positive nature of this is because they are at least accepting some truth of the Supreme Lord. They are freed from certain material anomalies. That's why in Bhagavad Gita Krishna explains, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati tamah sarveshu bhuteshu mat bhaktim labhyate param. Those who are already Brahman realized people, they do not have any requirements, any anticipation, any lamentation, any hankering. Na sochati na kankshati. So this is already achieved in Brahman realization. Then what to speak of Paramatma and Bhagavan realization, you get much more fine-tuned in your qualities. So that answers your first question in terms of who is Brahman.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes.
The second question answer is, what happens to the super soul? Nothing happens. Super soul is, he is not a relocatable object. Super soul is present by his energy. When a person spiritually elevates himself to the spiritual abode and go to Goloka Vrindavan, he interacts with the personality Supreme God. So, and the Atma comes to his Swarupa. Swarupa means his constitutional position. And once the Atma takes his constitutional position, he gets spiritual mind, he gets spiritual ego, he gets spiritual intelligence, he gets spiritual body, and he associates as an Atma, he associates with the Supreme Lord in person. So, the Paramatma aspect of it is already in the complete whole Supreme Lord. There is no separate existence of Paramatma over there. It is like you are asking a question to somebody that what happens to the sun's rays when I go to the sun planet. Prabhupada explains that the understanding of Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, Prabhupada gives two examples. One milk example, one train example. One sun example, one train example. Sun example is, sun, when we see from earth and sitting inside the room, we just do not go out there and see the sun actually. We are sitting inside the room. As soon as we have early morning, as soon as some sun rose, we are seeing the light of the sun and understanding, yes, now sun has risen. So, the light nature of the Lord, sun, defines about Brahman. You do not know the shape of the sun yet. You do not know other attributes of the sun. Just by knowing the light of the sun, you are saying sun has risen. That is Brahman realization. The moment we step out of the house, we go out and try to see the sun in whatever way, whatever glass you wear. You get to understand other attributes. You understand about the heat attribute. You understand the intensity attribute. You also understand the sun's shape from a distant attribute. You get other details. But somehow, if we can get the dress and the body to go and reside in the sun planet, we understand all the attributes. So for somebody in the sun planet, the sun rays and sun form, sun shape, everything is complete there. Similarly, when we have Brahman realization, we may not know what Paramatma and Bhagavan are. But when we go to the Bhagavan realization, the Paramatma and Brahman nature is already embedded, included in that state. So Paramatma need not have a separate existence there. He is already there as Bhagavan with us, around us, in front of us. Making sense, Prabhuji?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, one more question, Prabhu.
Any other? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Prabhu, these verses that we are seeing now, explaining about the different features of the Lord, how does this fit into the overall Atmaram verse, Prabhuji?
Well, if you see the sequence where the Lord is explaining, the shloka, it is explaining about, in the words, the word called Brahma and Atma, Hari, there are few things that are there, part of the shloka. I have to really refer the Atma Namasya Muniyo verse to see, because Mahaprabhu writes the word Brahma and Atma and few words that are related over here. And if you refer the previous set of few verses, you will see Mahaprabhu was explaining about some aspect of Krishna as Hari, how he was Hari, how he was withdrawing, how he was cleaning, how he was killing the propensities within the heart and try to bestow benediction to the individual. So the context here is that Mahaprabhu is trying to explain the Supreme God in totality, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the class, this whole verse of Atma Namasya Munayo is also to elevate a impersonalist to become a personalist and give a personalist touch. So I may have to refer the real exact sequence why these three verses came into the picture. I was trying to do that, but then I couldn't catch up to this. But in the context, if you catch up, then it is Mahaprabhu's agenda to open up on the personal nature of the Supreme Lord, because very next verse he is going to talk about how Krishna's personal aspect can be understood. I think I may not be precisely giving an answer why exactly this verse came in the sequence, because I still not gone to the history of all the verses just before this, how exactly this came in. But whatever I could infer, I just shared.
No, Prabhuji, that's fine, Prabhuji. That's fine. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for answering the questions. And thanks for the nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you so much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, all Guru Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. I now hand offer obeisances to you again.